Hi everyone, hope you all are doing great and I am back again today, and first of all I'll wish you all a very happy Teachers Day. Yes, today is Teachers Day, and as you all know that books have always been the greatest teachers for me. So here I am today with one of the books today which has turned out, and I can say has encountered me with an amazing teacher, and I'm so glad that I read this book. So I'll let you know further the honest review of this book, and most importantly how was my journey to the course of read that I had for just 2 days with this amazing book, that is Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. So here's the book Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom, and I bought this recently in that book hall, which I've already said you guys. So this book was very close to me in my last 2 days. I was not well, and I had nobody around. I just had my mom to call me and ask like how am I doing. So at that time, reading this book, I would say was the best decision that I took because I could absorb it a lot. I was sleeping with the book, I was waking up with the book, and the pages, the words, the sentences, every small thing of the book has touched my heart like anything. So first of all, I would like to tell you about that why this book I am like introducing on Teachers Day, because this book talks about Morrie. Morrie is a professor, Morrie is a teacher who in his 60s has developed a disease called as ALS. ALS is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. So this is a disease which is also, Stephen Hawking was also suffering from the same disease. The same happened with Morrie as well. So in his 60s, Morrie was diagnosed with ALS, and doctors said that, you are dying. You'll be no more in the upcoming years. You won't be able to lead a normal life, which all of us are actually leading. So that was a time when Morrie decides to actually enjoy his funeral. Morrie decides to celebrate his funeral. So Morrie was the one who decided every small thing which he wanted to do before leaving this particular world. And then there enters, guess who? Mitch Albom. Mitch was his student in the college, and Mitch somewhere or the other, got this contact of Morrie, and he met Morrie, and then they started meeting on Tuesdays, and then every Tuesday was a lesson in this book, is a lesson for all of us in the book. Now the kind of conversation Mitch and Morrie is having is something that we have to learn from the book. So let's go now. So let's go with the first chapter. So in the first chapter, that conversation between Morrie and Mitch, they were actually talking about the world. Now, in this chapter, Mitch actually notices Morrie to read newspapers. So, he was astonished, that at the last stage of his life also, Morrie was interested in knowing that what is actually going in the world. So, Morrie had an amazing explanation for the same. He said that, of course, he wanted to be in contact with the world. He wanted to understand the world maybe little better than as he used to be, because now his perspective of life was completely different, because he knew that he was going to die. That was the first chapter that actually talks about. The second Tuesday when they meet again, they talk about feeling sorry for yourself, feeling pity on yourself, that how much Morrie felt pity on himself. So Mitch often used to ask him that, how many times you feel sorry for yourself. So Morrie has a very amazing answer, and the answer was that I do feel sorry. Of course, every one of us feels sorry. हमने अपने लाइफ में ऐसे कितने कुछ किया होता है कि हमें कई बार अपने आप के लिए बुरा लगता है कि यार ये मैंने क्यों किया, मुझे ये नहीं करना चाहिए था. So at that time, Morrie says that he takes out time for that. ये मैंने कुछ समय निकाला. I feel sorry for myself that I have done this cruel thing to me, and then that's fine. After half an hour, maybe after 1 hour, I'll be totally fine. It means you have to be out of your pittiness, but you have to be sorry for yourself. You should be sorry to you. We have done a lot of stuff in our lives where we need to sit down and think and say sorry more to us than to the people out there. Next, they talk about regrets. Of course, जब इंसान डेथ बेड पे होता है तो अपने रिग्रेट्स को ज़्यादा याद करता है कि ये मैं कर सकता था, ये मैंने नहीं किया. दिस वॉज द थिंग विच आई वॉन्टेड इन लाइफ, मुझे नहीं मिल पाया. तो मॉरी बात करते हैं उन रिग्रेट्स के बारे में जो मॉरी की अपने लाइफ में रही है, एंड दैट वाज समथिंग विच मिच ऑलवेज वांटेड टू नो व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन इन योर हेड, बिकॉज यू आर गोइंग टू डाई. So he was very clear about important things in life. So he said this very clear that you should never allow your inner child to die. Your inner child should be always alive, because जब वो बच्चा जिंदा होता है तो उसे पता होता है कि मुझे हर चीज़ कर लेना चाहिए. वो अपने सामने कोई रेस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं रखता है. So because when you are at a deathbed, you will ultimately, your inner child won't allow you to sit back and will let you do everything you wanted to do in your life. So that was how Morrie has explained about regrets to Mitch. You know what? This book has turned out to be an amazing thing for me. Next, they talk about death. See, death is inevitable. All of us know. हम सबको मरना है एक दिन. मॉरी इसमें ये कहते हैं ह्यूमन हैज़ अ प्रॉब्लम दैट ह्यूमन प्रकृति को तो प्रकृति समझता है लेकिन अपने आप को प्रकृति का हिस्सा नहीं समझता. हम अपने आप को नेचर का हिस्सा नहीं समझते. हमें पता है कि ये फूल झड़ जाएगा, हमें पता होता है कि पत्ते झड़ जाएंगे, हमें पता होता है कि दिस एनिमल विल डाई, बट वी डोंट एक्सेप्ट दिस थिंग दैट वन डे वी विल ऑल्सो डाई. जो भी चीज़ें दुनिया में आई है इट हैज़ टू गो. The same is with human body as well. Your body will go one day. Your body will not support your soul one day, and this is the biggest acceptance that human always denies to do. कभी नहीं मानते हम कि नहीं ये नहीं हो सकता. We are not going to die because the day, even for a while, if you are listening to me and if you for a while just realize this that I'll be dying tomorrow, I might not do a lot of stuff which I'm doing today. Lot of things will be changed. I might call my parents often. I might call my friends today. I might do something which I wanted to do, right? Even Morrie also explained this very clearly that if you realize about death, you won't be that ambitious in life, which might not be good, but you won't be that ambitious in life because ultimately the reality comes in your head that everything has to go, this world has to go, this body has to go, so why that much of ambition? So that's what that has been explained, that we need to understand we might not do the stuff in the way we are doing it right now. Once we realize this thing that we also need to go, we will also go someday, might be today, might be the next hour, might be the evening and night, wherever, and any time. Next, he talks about family. Morrie talks about the value of family, specifically, for people like us, for a person like me. As I said to you in the starting, why this book was so important for me, I only had my mom calling me in my past 2 days, like, how are you doing? Nobody else. So that matters to me. Because just imagine you don't have anybody around. Just imagine you don't have a family around. Because when you are at the last stage of your life, as Morrie was, being diagnosed with this so bad disease of ALS, he knew this, that the only support system that he had around, because the press people were coming, students were coming, people were coming, meeting and going, they were just giving out their best wishes. But there has to be somebody to have 24-hour eye on you, and that is your family. That's the importance of family. We talk about emotions. Next, they talked about emotions, that how important it is to be emotional in life. He said, to survive, everybody is meant, human body is instilled with a lot of emotions inside, and you cannot deny that. You cannot run away from that. You can, of course, shield yourself out for not expressing those emotions, but still you have those emotions. So if the emotions are, overpowering you, all what you can do is, for a while, for a moment, you can sit with the emotion, you can feel the emotion, but at the next moment, you have to run back to the work. But, you have to get back to the track what actually you are meant to do by not getting emotionally overpowered. So that's how they were talking about emotions, and how emotions are important here to understand the perspective of other person. That has an amazing value which the book actually has to show us. Next, they talk about the fear of aging. So Mitch used to ask Morrie that, are you not scared of aging? Because the tissues of Morrie's, the muscles, the tissues, everything was wearing off. So he asked him that, are you scared that this is happening, you are growing old? So Morrie has an amazing answer, that a person who is growing old, a person at the age of maybe 20 and at the age of 40 or 50, there's a huge difference. The person at the age of 40, 50 knows that I have grown, मेरा कुछ growth हुआ है. And if you have growth, and if you have properly grown yourself, you will be satisfied, you will be happy, that उस time पे मेरी सोच ऐसी थी, अभी मेरी thinking ऐसी है. एक 20 साल के इंसान की सोच, एक 40 साल के इंसान की सोच में बहुत अंतर होता है. That is the real growth. Can be out of experience? Of course, it's out of experience. So, and experience comes from time. Yes. So he talks about that aging is, of course, not a bad thing, because it is letting you grow. It's all about growth. It's not about decaying of the body. It's about the growth of life. So that's how we need to change our perspectives when it comes to have the fear of aging in us. Then he talks about money, that how much money is important in life. Because, of course, for any stuff today, we need money. So is money always above relations, above everything? Because today we are having the tendency of the generation to choose money over everything. He had an amazing answer that money in today's generation is just distractions. Distractions from emotions, distractions from everything. We know that if I can't buy this specific emotion in my life, I'll tend to have money, right? I'll show this, I'll show my power, I'll show my satisfaction with the help of money. I might buy a new house, a new car, a new asset, a new liability, whatever you say. You might buy a lot of stuff. It won't stop. It won't stop. You will go for the next, and it's a running journey that is not going to stop unless you are satisfied from inside, and you won't be satisfied. So money is just that slight distraction which human today is opting to suppress their own emotions. Next is marriage. So yeah, how much marriage is important? So Morrie says here that everybody should experience marriage, because you need to understand that there is somebody, even if you're having your family at the very age old part, your parents someday will go, your brother, sister, everybody will be having your family, but that one person at the end of your life, sometimes it's just more than love, it's more than uh, intimate relationships. It's above all, you have a person who is 24/7, is concerned about you, is having an eye on you, will be beside you when you will be leaving the world. That is the value of marriage. Then he talks about culture. Morrie has a belief that we should not follow culture, because culture tries to threaten us. हमारी सोसाइटी, हमारा समाज, हमारा कल्चर हमें डराता है कि हमें ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा करना चाहिए. They are setting a lot of rules for us, because of which we change our decisions. I want this specific thing, but I'm not doing it because my society is not permitting it, my culture is not permitting it, and somewhere or the other, because of that culture, who is not going to be there with you when you are at your worst, you lose a lot of stuff. Yes, so I guess if people can relate it, that we should not be a part of culture. That is what Morrie teaches. Then he talks about forgiveness. Forgiveness, of course, not just forgiving others. The most important thing is to forgive yourself. हम कई बार खुद को माफ नहीं कर पाते, इसलिए शायद किसी और को माफ नहीं कर पाते. And I think it is very simple to forgive people. Release it. If you want to be at peace, you have to forgive people. You have to stop bringing out that negative energy which we are bringing for every other person who has not done justice with you. Justice, what I personally feel is, we don't have right to do justice with any human being. It's not in your hand. There's nothing in your hand. All what is there in your hand is you, yourself, your mindset. So stop having this thing in your head that I won't forgive you. Doesn't matter. Chalo. Next is, they talk about the perfect day, and they talk about goodbye. They talk about how love goes on. So here Morrie also explains this thing that what is the value of love in life. He's like, everything would go on track if you have got the love of your life. इतनी बड़े प्यार से explain कर दिया उन्होंने that things will be on track with you. You'll handle any problem. You'll handle anything that is being thrown on you if you have your love beside you. If you have love for people. If you have love in your heart. If you are just with hatred. If you are just with I can say envious inside for other people, और नफरत है, भरा पड़ा है अंदर, आप लाइफ में शायद काफ़ी सारी चीज़ों के ऊपर वो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट करें जो आपको नहीं करना चाहिए. बट व्हेन यू आर हैविंग लव इनसाइड यू, you'll be happy, you'll be prosperous. You know that the Almighty loves you, you love people, it doesn't matter. Then, whatever you give out ultimately comes out to you. If you're giving out love, it will come back to you multiple folds. Not today, maybe some other day, right? So that's what the book actually taught me. And the same was for Mitch Albom. He has learned a lot from Morrie. And this journey of, reading these many chapters, spending so many Tuesdays with Morrie, Mitch was attached back with Morrie. Mitch has his own family, so he used to learn a lot of stuff and he could connect with whatever Morrie was telling. But at the end, he was so sad by watching Morrie going away from him. His body was slowly deteriorating like anything. He couldn't sit. Morrie never wanted to lie on the bed. He always used to watch that hibiscus flower from his window. He couldn't eat anything. Everything has to be in the liquid form for Morrie to eat, and day by day his condition was worsening. Morrie always said one thing, that I know that I'll die the day when the disease comes to my lungs, to my respiratory system. And it happened at the end. So at the end, the kind of explanation, when Morrie dies, he selects a place where he should be buried. He's planned his own funeral. So when Morrie dies, uh, it took me half an hour to absorb at that time. I was very emotional. I cried a lot after reading that last lines and those last pages. This book has touched my heart, and I believe whether you are a reader or you are a non-reader, out of anything, take some time out in your life, get this book. If you know me, take this from me, read this book. Trust me, this is gonna change your perspective, and this is important for people like us. That's what I always say. This generation needs to read. We need to read. We are losing a lot. We are losing our values. We are losing ourselves. We don't have strength to capture our own emotions, and we are doing nonsense. So that's important for all of us. So if you could connect with me today, please, I request you take some. I have never requested people, of course, absolutely, a few years back I had this experience of ever explaining somebody to read, and I promised myself I won't ever force anyone to read, but still, I would request you out there that take some time out and read this book. This is amazing. Some things, some books are always masterpieces, and for once in our lifetime we should go through them, and this is one of them. So that's all from my side today. Maybe I'll come with another book in my next video. Do tell me how do you like the review, and if you liked it, please like and subscribe. Thanks. That's all from my side. Wishing you all a very happy Teachers Day again. Till then, please take care. Bye bye.